The close should be the most simplest thing ever. Do not start becoming all funny, clowny. Do not use some, like, I don't know, some crazy technique like, listen, you know, you look fun, but I'm not 100% sure about you yet. But let's grab a coffee anyway. Now the close, very simple. By the way, I need to make sure I take these. You don't want to leave it for like the cleaner. She's like, what the fuck? Yeah, could you imagine? The close. Some guys find this difficult when they're closing. If you're finding it a little bit difficult, I suggest you just do a lot of just average interactions, like girls you're not into, and just practice the close, because you need to get used to that. Make sure you're always closing. Number close. No, we're just talking about this interaction when you just meet her. We're not talking about after that, right? So simple, first thing. The close should be the most simplest thing ever. Do not start becoming all funny, clowny. Do not use some, like, I don't know, some crazy technique like, listen, you know, you look fun, but I'm not 100% sure about you yet. But let's grab a coffee anyway. It's like, bro, I've seen a lot of people use that, and sometimes it does work. I'm not saying that's a bad line, but it's like, what are you doing? Like, you're now like doing push-pull, and then you closing off of that. It sounds like, it does sound funny, but that's not the time to do it. Let's do the traction and attraction. Now when you're closing, just keep it simple, right? You don't want to become that cocky, funny clown when you're closing. Simple. Number 2, silence. So what I mean by silence is, you know, when you hand her the phone and you say, oh, my phone's it. You say, you know, another time I want to invite you for a coffee. And she says, cool, and you go, what's your number? You put it in there, and now she's typing it. You do not want to say anything when she's typing it, because what I've noticed is some guys, they have that little bit of increase in like confidence and energy as soon as she accepts the close, and now they're coming out with these jokes because she accepted it, and now they're like happy because they got approval, and they're like, so yeah, you know, in Barcelona, I was there and this girl did that and this, and I was like, bro, just like stay quiet. Just imagine you don't care about the fact that she accepted your number close. So that goes back to the silence and simple. Number 3, so how would you close her number? She puts her number in your phone, would you just walk away? Or would you call her? Would you like check her WhatsApp if she's got a foreign number? Do you guys do stuff like that, or you just like take the number and you go walk away?
If I can't, try to get my name in her phone.
What do you mean?
Like to save, like.
Okay.
If she says my name, I probably heard that.
So you miscall her first,
I always
because
check if it's correct anyway.
Exactly. And this is not because she's giving you a fake number.
Yeah.
Because if she's giving you a fake number and you get the right number, even you text her, is she going to reply? No, she's not going to reply. So the point is not to see if the number's fake or real. The point is, sometimes I've done this when I'm just number closing with another guy, and I'm like, all right, this is my number, and I accidentally press the wrong number. You know what I mean? That girls do that as well. It's not very common, but it does happen. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I remember I went on an instant date with this extremely attractive Middle Eastern girl, and everything went well. She was totally into it. Her phone was switched off. Right, and she put in a number, for whatever reason, she put in the wrong number, and I couldn't call her because her thing was, and I didn't check WhatsApp for whatever reason. I just walked away, and I called her, and it was like, it wouldn't go through, right? And I'm 100% sure she was interested, because we were holding hands, like we were doing everything. She was compliant to everything, but that happened, and from then, because of the pain like I went through off of that close, now I know, doesn't matter how, like, you're not going to look desperate, trust me. I know what you're thinking, like, oh no, just before you go, let me just check the WhatsApp. You're thinking, oh, I'm going to look desperate. No. You're leading. You're being, you're double checking kind of thing to make sure, to show her, like, listen, I like you. Let me just make sure we can meet another time, right? So make sure you call her. If her phone is off, check for the WhatsApp. I'm not going to write it. Check for the WhatsApp. If you can't find the WhatsApp, go for the Instagram because you can still message on Instagram, right? That's the close. Okay, actually, one thing about the number close, I remember when I was learning, just the last thing, when I was learning, they used to say, make sure you talk to her after you get the number, like 2 minutes, 1 minute. What I found out is not necessary. You don't need to do that. Yeah.
I was gonna ask about this actually.
Yeah, that's from all of my number closes. I've noticed there's no huge difference. If I stay for like 5 minutes, 2 minutes after, or if I don't stay at all, it doesn't make a difference. The whole theory was, oh, if you take the number and you run away, it's like, oh, that's all you wanted. But sometimes it just naturally comes to the end, doesn't it? Because you ask her for an instant date, she says, no, actually, I'm just going into a lecture or wherever. So you wouldn't, when you close, you wouldn't stay there and start talking to her because she's going to a lecture, right? So either if you go on an instant date, that's different. And if it has to naturally come apart, then you just go apart after your number close. You don't need to stay in there. Because sometimes it actually looks a bit desperate. You're like, okay, so so what are you doing like later tonight and stuff like that? Yeah, just remember that if you have the time, do it. If not, it's not going to make that huge difference.